Holidaymakers returning from Singapore and Thailand won't have to enter quarantine after the government updated the list of travel corridors. But people arriving from Slovenia and Guadeloupe will have to stay home for 14 days after they were removed from the exempt list. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps tweeted, "Latest data shows we need to remove Slovenia and Guadeloupe from the travel corridor list to keep everyone safe. This means if you arrive in the UK from these destinations after 4 a.m. Saturday, you will need to self-isolate for 14 days. Separately, we will be adding Singapore and Thailand to the travel corridor list. Please check before you travel, as both countries may have extra requirements before entering." A reminder that travellers to the UK from any location must complete a Passenger Locator Form by law. This is vital in protecting public health and ensuring those who need to are complying with self-isolation rules. While Thailand is back on the travel corridor list, that doesn't mean holidays are back on the cards for Brits. At the moment, the country has closed its borders to tourists, with only certain exemptions. For example, international students or spouses of Thai nationals. Even if you are granted entry, you'll still need to quarantine for 14 days when you arrive at one of the state facilities. It comes after British Airways boss Cruz told MPs people were still afraid of travelling as he defended the airline's decision to cut up to 12,000 jobs. He said the coronavirus pandemic has devastated our business, and the carrier is still fighting for our own survival. He told the Commons Transport Select Committee yesterday the airline is operating around a quarter of its normal schedule, and fewer flights means fewer people required to actually service them. He said, "As CEO of British Airways, I have to take responsibility. I cannot ignore the situation. I had to act incredibly fast. I deeply regret that way too many loyal and hardworking colleagues of mine are having to leave our business, and I understand why MPs are concerned." In April, British Airways announced plans to cut up to 12,000 jobs, representing nearly 30% of its workforce. Mr. Cruz said he is completely dedicated and focused on protecting the remaining 30,000 jobs. Coronavirus outbreak, he went on. People are still afraid of travelling. Of course, we are having weekly changes, as you know, to the quarantine list. We don't have a testing solution yet. And still our customers are paying APD, air passenger duty, even just to fly on domestic regional flights. So the overall situation is quite challenging, and this is why we are taking every measure possible to make sure that we can actually make it through this winter.